very chaotic. We had no idea what we were coming into, and then literally 10 minutes into us being here, it just popped right off.
Yeah. And now we're looking live from Sky at Chopper 13 on what looks like more random vandalism happening, cars being trashed and objects turned over. That looks like a police vehicle again.
This is Maryland Department of Transportation vehicle right here, as well as a van right behind it. And just as we saw the other police car, just totally ransacked and damaged.
And yet there's traffic moving by. So whoever those people are is probably not very safe to be driving down that street.
And there we see, this is
Christie's camera, yeah.
Right. Officers moving people back. And they're spraying the crowd, including, it looks like our crew is being affected. Christy, are you okay? Okay, she is running away from the scene right now.
They pepper sprayed the crowd, and the wind the wind made the pepper spray go into my eyes again.
Okay, here we see a person
that's what's going on right now.
Yeah, we see right now in your shot at least one person who is fully covered.
Someone that got pepper sprayed, yeah.
I mean, the officers have to use what means they have to break up crowds. And when you're reporting something like this and you're close to it, and Christy has been close to it all along, it can be dangerous.
Right now. She has been sprayed.
Okay, we're hearing that was the voice of our photographer. Christy has been sprayed, and we're going to need to probably get her some medical attention because pepper spray is something that affects you very, very much. I mean, your eyes will burn and your face will burn, and we saw a number of people there who are affected as well. A number of tweets that have been going out right now. This is video from earlier. This is earlier video shot from Sky Chopper 13. A gentleman climbing into a vehicle that was moving. Not sure of the story behind that, whether it's people that they knew or what. But it has been a very raucous afternoon here in Baltimore, all over the city. And we, as I said, we have a number of reporters all in a number of locations, and the entire city is being affected right now.
Yeah, this sort of spontaneously broke out, or it appeared to be spontaneous, although we've been hearing that police had intelligence that told them that there was a social media cry out to high school students to meet at 3 o'clock. They called it the Purge, which again is based on that film, The Purge, where there's lawlessness, which certainly appears to be taking place here, lawlessness or their attempt at it. We don't know what that is, but that appears to be some sort of object that was turned over and caused a lot of dust. This was, again, earlier police lineup. Our chopper, we're going to bring you live pictures as soon as it refuels. This is the same thing that happened to us on Saturday. You know, it's an engine that needs to be refueled. Exactly. So meanwhile, we're looking at video from earlier today.
Let's go down to Derek Valcourt at City Hall. We were with him a few minutes ago, and so, Derek, we're so sorry we had to cut you off. There were so many things going on. What can you tell us about what's happening there at City Hall, and what information do you have?
Well, just in the last few moments here, see police officers who have gotten out. They've got their shields out, their helmets on. Certainly a very strong presence in and around all of downtown right now. In fact, near City Police headquarters, there are a number of barricades blocking the streets near headquarters. There are police officers in front of City Hall. Many of the roads are blocked. Lots of officers right now directing traffic out of the city. A lot of city employees at a number of different companies and workplaces down there to leave work early today, anticipating that there could be some sort of problems, whether it be from protests or any otherwise. A big story today that has been lost right now is that city police say that they have credible threats, intelligence that gang members from rival gangs normally, the Bloods, the Crips, the Black Guerrilla family, have threatened to, quote, take out, their words, take out law enforcement officers. Now, that has raised quite a bit of alarm, as you can imagine, for city police who have been dealing with instances and threats over the course of the last few months. And so they are taking this very seriously, urging officers to be on guard, take a look out over their shoulders. You can see outside of City Hall right now a number of police officers and their riot gear. Some of them, they seem to be either getting out of or into a small van here. They've got shields and helmets, so there is a lot going on around downtown.
Derek, has
Not
the mayor
business as usual.
Has the mayor issued a statement at all, or the police commissioner?
The commissioner
We have not seen the I have not seen or heard from the mayor yet today, and we are going to see if we can't find out the latest from the mayor's office.
And there is no activity there. It's just people preparing for what could be potential activity.
Perhaps. It looks like some of these officers are getting into these vans. Perhaps they're driving away, but there still is a strong police presence down here, and I'm sure there will be throughout the course of the evening.
Let me bring you up to date on a couple of things that, as we look at some of the pictures from a little while ago, the Baltimore City Police now are tweeting that a group is now looting a store in the area of North Avenue and Pennsylvania Avenue. They're asking people to avoid that area. At the same time, I'm getting text messages from, actually is a chef, a Baltimore chef is in the library doing some research and is locked down in the library, that a police car there on fire on Pennsylvania Avenue, which is consistent with what the police department is tweeting out as well. They say they are continuing to work with local and state law enforcement partners, deploying resources to the area to ensure the safety of the citizens. And we saw just a moment ago the Prince George's County Tactical Unit is here as well, and certainly there are resources from the state police as well as probably some surrounding areas.
Well, I'm sure with these what they call credible threats or rumors of credible threats against officers, that the kind of army of police officers that we had on Saturday are were probably ready to go again today. Saturday was almost 1,300. I'm sure that same amount of force is ready to be deployed if needed at any time, and it certainly looks like it's needed.
Certainly so. Baltimore City Police still tweeting out information about other vehicles, police cars being damaged. They say the group is now heading southbound on Pennsylvania Avenue towards Baker Street. They're asking people to avoid that area. This is video from a moment ago where a police car was damaged. A large crowd of people were around that car damaging it. And then this tactical unit moved in and one person was arrested. Everyone else managed to get away. Derek, what do we know whether there is anything planned for that area this evening where you are?
We are not sure right now. I think there was a lot of anticipation that perhaps the group may have been starting up in the Mondawmin Mall area and then heading down towards City Hall, perhaps City Police Headquarters, where some of the protests have been happening in recent days. But we just saw two groups, two vans full of SWAT officers load up and pull out of here in great haste. So it appears, at least for now, they're not terribly concerned about City Hall, but you can see we've got, if we can pull up our camera, there is a street right here in front of City Hall, Fayette, blocked up, barricades up, and there are police officers stopping the street. Now, as you go closer to City Hall, there are a number of officers in front of the building protecting it on all sides. So there is a lot of police activity in and out many of the popular areas downtown.
Yeah, this is Derek's camera at City Hall, where again they're preparing in case something should happen. That is an actual live picture right now of a whole line of officers. I do not know what intersection that is, but clearly they are prepared if people start coming down that street. And this is the kind of line I'm sure they're going to try and establish at a number of intersections where they anticipate this random group of what appear to be looters and people intent on destroying property and causing trouble and causing chaos moving through that area of the city, which so far is about a mile. My understanding is about a mile square area where the people have been running through.
This is almost an impossible task for police because the groups are moving in different directions. There are different factions of people who are involved. Of course, earlier, you know, we had heard that there was going to be this event with high school students, and some of the students that Christy Aletto talked with said specifically that they just wanted to have a peaceful march. Yeah. But it erupted into the chaos that we've been seeing all afternoon. And it does not look as if it is letting up. A very fluid situation, multiple groups in different areas. As soon as police get one area under control, it moves to another. It's almost an impossible task for police. Yeah,
and they're doing it in residential areas where people can go in and out of homes if they need.
City Hall right now.
Our chopper. Is this our chopper?
Yes.
Yeah, so Jeff Long is now refueled and he's above the scene. All right, and you're above City Hall, Jeff?
That's right. We're just arriving on City Hall. We'll take a look here. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of activity other than the police presence. They are blocking access to City Hall. Normal. So we're going to work our way back over to Western and see what we can find.
Okay, Jeff, one of the things you may want to look for, Baltimore City Police tweeting that they're looting a store in the area of North Avenue in Pennsylvania. Also, we heard that there is a police car on fire near a CVS and the public library, which is right there at North Avenue and Pennsylvania. So you may
That's
want
the
to
area that we were looking at earlier where the one police car was. Then there was an arrest. And then also at the CVS store, and we saw the MTA police vehicles being damaged as well. And then that was where we saw some smoke from a tactical device being deployed.
Right, and even
so we should be back over there in just about a minute or less.
Okay, safe travels up there as you continue to move to the area. And I know that there's a lot of other traffic up there. Baltimore police helicopters are up, as well as other news helicopters are up there as well. The pictures you're seeing now live are clearly from our chopper as they're moving back to the area. Christy Aletto was on the ground with our crew. We know that the police deployed pepper spray, and Christy was covered, we understand, as well as probably our crew as well, so we hope that they're going to be okay down there as they get attention.
Yeah, this has clearly escalated, and any attempt to have a message applied to this was lost about an hour ago when the thing just evolved into random, what appeared to be random looting and damaging buildings and damaging CVS and damaging a library. It's hard to have any message attached to that, except just chaos.
We certainly don't want to see the type of damage that's going on here in the city, and this is a black eye on the city of Baltimore, but there are also some serious concerns related to the activities that we see. Now we're back at the CVS looking down. This is a store that was involved in a very bad situation just not long ago. Traffic still moving through the area. People, I guess, obviously are trying to get home. I mean, I would be concerned if I lived in the area. I want to get home, make sure my home is okay, make sure my family is okay. And this very well may be some of those folks, as well as we're approaching our normal rush hour here. It's 10 minutes before 5. And now we see another large group of folks who are running down the street, usually an indication that something is about to happen, or they're just seriously trying to get away from the situation.
Yeah, and we saw on Saturday that people trying to get away who literally were just caught on streets just going about their business tended to put their hands up and say, you know, I'm just walking here. And it's hard to, that was the only way to distinguish somebody who was causing trouble and somebody who was just simply moving through their own neighborhood.
For those of you who are just joining us, just getting home, possibly just turning on the TV, you obviously have been hearing maybe via social media, via the radio, and certainly here on television that Baltimore once again thrust into some chaos. What we hope it wanted to start as a very peaceful protest and erupted into violence. Lots of rocks, bricks being thrown. We have 7 officers who are injured. One, at last report a few minutes ago, was unresponsive. So a very bad situation. And here is a school bus. And this is really concerning right there. Let's hope that that bus is going to be able to get around and get out and not be harmed. And the thing of it is, we see that most of the anger has been directed at police, not at citizens, not at individuals just walking by. It seems that most of the anger and resentment is being thrust toward the police.
Okay, and just moments ago we're told there was a news conference held at Baltimore City Police Headquarters with Eric Kowalczyk. Let's hear what the police are saying.
We saw the best of Baltimore. We saw protests that were peaceful as the city came together to voice frustration and share their concerns with this police department. A small group of agitators turned that protest violent, and you saw remarkable restraint from our officers. Remarkable restraint. This afternoon, a group of outrageous criminals attacked our officers. Right now, we have 7 officers that have serious injuries, including broken bones, and 1 officer who is unconscious. We will do whatever is appropriate to protect the safety of our police officers and ensure the safety of the people that live and work in the Mondawmin area. We have officers deployed throughout the city to make sure that we can continue to deliver police services to the citizens of Baltimore, and we will continue to keep the city safe. Our officers are working as quickly and as appropriately as they can to bring about order in the area of Mondawmin and effect arrests of the criminals who violently and without provocation attacked our police officers.
Captain, can you tell us exactly how your officers were injured?
We're still in the middle of this situation. It's still happening. We know as this is going on that 7 of our officers to right now have been injured. The exact circumstances that took place that led to their injuries, something we'll be able to determine at a later date. We're going to go back and do an investigation, and we will find the people that are responsible, and we will put them in jail.
Who do you believe is responsible?
Right now, it is a group of lawless individuals with no regard for the safety of the people that live in that community or the safety of our police officers who are there to ensure that the people who live and work in that area could do so safely. I don't know who's out there right now. That's something that we'll be able to determine as this event goes on. What we do know is that they're criminals. They attack officers without provocation. They have no...
Top of their team, we see a police vehicle. I assume that's a police vehicle that is in full flames. This is, I think, the same vehicle we saw earlier, possibly an MDTA vehicle. What are you seeing there from the chopper?
That is correct. This is the Maryland Department of Transportation police vehicle. There's 2 of them down there. There's a van and then there's the sedan, and it is fully engulfed in flames. This is the one we saw being attacked a little bit earlier before we went to get fuel. Now it's fully involved in flames, black smoke coming up from it, float through the city. There's still a large group of people on this road. This is North Avenue, very close to Pennsylvania Avenue, and right now this seems to be the hotbed for a couple reasons. This is where one of the larger groups that splintered off when the police made their advance from Mondawmin. They went down this way and they sort of gathered up here. They've done some other things. I do see some police, but that's the other reason we don't see a lot of, or we're seeing so much down here, is there wasn't a large police presence. But on Pennsylvania Avenue, if we go to the left and then up a little bit, we're going to see some police gathering in the street on Pennsylvania Avenue. So they're going to be working their way down here because this is the problem area right here. Now on the corner down here is a CVS. We understand that was being looted, and the crowd has sort of broken up. There's still plenty of people down here, but they're not as tight as they were. They're spread out a little bit, but they're still able to communicate with each other. So all it takes is for a small group of people to start running or screaming, and there's some people running right there, and then you see people from other areas start to join in with them. So they're heading back towards the CVS. We don't know if they're going to continue or do anything. It looks like not a whole lot happening right there, but there is a very a growing police presence on Pennsylvania Avenue. They're still doing some damage, so you can see they're still doing serious damage to that CVS. We can't see inside, so we don't have any idea what kind of damage is being done in there, but if it's anything like we saw at the 7-Eleven and some of the other places downtown Saturday night, there's going to be some serious damage and obviously some looting. So there's the police presence that we were talking about. They are on Pennsylvania Avenue, just north of North Avenue. They will be working their way down, and as they move down, we can expect that we'll see a lot of these people start to dissipate. They'll start to run, move to another location. And this is the same group that left Mondawmin. They joined up at Mondawmin. There was quite a bit of a scuffle earlier on tonight at Mondawmin, and there were some rocks being thrown at police. We understand there's several police officers were injured. Now, one of the interesting things about the police presence here, the police presence on the ground is massive. It's very impressive and organized, doing exactly what they need to do. And bit by bit, they're getting close to the groups that they need to deal with and moving them away from the problems. But in the air, you've got 2 police helicopters from the city, Foxtrot police helicopters, but the first time we've seen the state police helicopters circling around. So they're here as well. So a very big police presence. And when you've got something like this and you've got people running all over the place, throwing rocks and looting and starting vehicles on fire, destroying vehicles like this, really the best vantage point you can get is from the air. So having all those eyes on the scene is very important. In fact, the police were actually using our pictures earlier on this evening to get an idea of what the protesters were doing as they were throwing the rocks. So there's no place that anybody can go down on the ground that isn't going to be seen by somebody. Back to you.
Obviously, Jeff, obviously there's no way for a fire truck to get in there and put this fire out. There's a vehicle right behind that one that you assume could soon become... I'm sorry?
There is a fire truck arriving right now. There's a
good.
bumper and a ladder truck just behind that smoke. So if we look over to the right a little bit, you'll see they're approaching the scene. So they're going to come through the smoke. And there they are right on above the top of that building. So that's the first they've arrived, and that fire's been burning for some time. But they are able to get there because they came from the opposite direction. Now we're going to they should be able to get this out rather quickly, and hopefully none of the protesters get involved with the firefighters in any way.
Right, it looks like they got pretty good police protection there, as we saw just north of where the truck is, as well as from the area that the fire trucks came from. There we saw a little small explosion, a little puff of smoke and flames there. This is an MDTA vehicle. This is the same vehicle that we saw earlier being attacked by protesters, and of course there we see Baltimore City firefighters getting water on that pretty quickly, and at least this fire should be out in just a few moments. I've been still getting messages from people who are trapped inside the library, or actually locked down inside the library. Is that the second vehicle catching fire there?
Vic, the van behind sorry to interrupt you, but the van behind that car is now on fire. So both MTA police vehicles now on fire on North Avenue. So they've got the sedan sort of under control. I can still see some flames there, but now they've got to contend with the van as well. Baltimore City firefighters, the best in the country. They're going to take care of this in no time. And there you go. You see how quickly they get that fire out. Looks like the tires are still burning on the car. Back to you, Vic.
Okay, thank you very much, Captain Jeff Long. Lots of things happening right now. We have so many different locations where there is activity. Right up near Mondawmin Mall, we know that there were a number of people who were still there, and we saw pepper spray being deployed against several of the people who were there, including our news crew who happened to be affected. We see the fire there down at North Avenue in Pennsylvania, where the CVS is being looted, as well as those two MDTA vehicles caught on fire. We know that down at City Hall they're preparing for the worst. We saw a news conference with Captain Eric Kowalczyk, who said just a few moments ago that there have been a number of people who have been officers who have been injured, 7, including one who is unresponsive. Another live picture now at the CVS as it is being attacked again, and it looks like they've been able to get access to the door. It appeared to be locked down there for a short while, but now it is being
hottie, hottie, high, high. Well, everyone is mine, you can call me multiply, high. Just what everyone is, you can call me multiply. Just so you know, yes, yes, I'm that guy. This is me on the regular, so you know. Yes, this is me on the regular, so you know. This is me on the regular, you know that I yo. This is me, you know.
City high school students were starting to hurl stuff at officers. All right, we're going to get to the sidewalk now because it looks like these officers are about to, they're saying move, 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 and walking towards the group of students. You can see some of these kids have backpacks on their backs, and they're, again, hurling things at officers, and you saw how heavy these objects are. I mean, they broke one of the police shields further back. So again, this is all happening just by the Mundelein Mall, again at Liberty Heights Avenue and Reisterstown Road. You can see officers right now looks like they're heading towards the direction of wherever that police car fire was that Captain Jeff was talking about. But you can see again, Judy's focusing on the officers who have now made their way onto this this lot, which I'm not really sure what is on this area except for just a field, basically. But there's kids over there, and they've been hurling rocks again and bricks at police officers.
We have 7 officers injured. That's the number. Lieutenant Kowalczyk was also saying several have broken bones. Christy, we mentioned you had been hit by pepper spray. How are you doing, and our crew?
I'm fine. I'm doing much better. I mean, it was just a situation again that we weren't even that close to the group of people that were getting maced. It's the wind. The wind pushes a lot of the fumes in certain directions, and unfortunately, I was downwind and I got the pepper spray again in my eyes. So you have to excuse my appearance. That's why I look the way I do. But one of the officers helped me flush out my eyes, and I'm doing a lot better. But unfortunately, that was the second time that happened.
And
so,
Christy, just so our viewers
understand, again, we were already standing further. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Just so our viewers understand at home that you are using your best judgment, knowing when to vacate an area for your safety, for our photographer's safety, and you have moved back at certain points today.
Right. I mean, and we were even far away from when they deployed the mace. It's just, it's a matter of when the wind decides it's going to gust, and it can push whatever they've put out into the air for several feet. And so I could, like, in that situation, the second situation, I was standing at least like 30 feet away from that crowd, and I still got it because the wind decided to blow in my direction. So right now we have moved on to Liberty Heights Avenue, and we are looking at another line of officers who moved from the intersection over here, but again, because there were little kids who were standing on this knoll who were throwing, again, rocks and bricks at officers. And, you know, an hour ago, we actually showed you live pictures of one of the officers who was down and had to get medical attention. We saw her get rushed off into an ambulance. And again, this is just very unfortunate because this is all happening on the same day that Freddie Gray was being put into the ground to be buried. And his family said, please don't protest because we don't want to dishonor his memory. And when I spoke to a couple of kids who were out here before all of this unfolded, they said that this was supposed to be a march.
Right, and that's important to note today. Christy, thank you. We're going to check back in with you in just a moment. We're going to go back to Sky Eye Chopper 13 and Captain Jeff Long. Captain Jeff, you're near Druid Hill Park, and there's some activity going on there.
This is a medevac. You can see the ambulances set up right there in the park, and then there's the Maryland State Trooper. I believe this is Trooper 2 on the ground, and this is for response. You know, as we've been told, there are a number of officers with injuries, so that's what that's for. There's 3 ambulances that I could see down on the ground in the park, and this is about in a straight line about a half a mile away from where everything started. And as we come back down towards Liberty Heights and Reisterstown Road, you'll be able to see there's a police line right there at the bottom of your screen. And they moved from Reisterstown Road into the park and down Liberty Heights Avenue. There's a group now. You can see they've thrown